Good morning, evening, afternoon. Moss here. Hope all of you are doing really fantastic. There's a lot of chaos in the world going on, right? And it's a great opportunity. A lot of individuals are checking, well, they're seeing the chaos, or they might not see the chaos. A lot of you XIers are probably seeing the chaos going around, a lot of say crazy stuff happening out in the world, a lot of things that people can't even say describe what's going on. But here at XI, Exponential Intelligence, here on Moss on Sunday, that's what I do. My name is Sajady, and I explain how life works, how life really works, not the way we perceive it to work, not the way the observer effect, whether it's a religious observer effect, or say a scientific observer effect. There's always an observer effect going on, right? And that skews how we look at life. So what I've done through two near-death experiences, is I've removed myself from, say, the consciousness of this reality by stepping outside this reality. And that's what I do. That's how I train you all to become exponentially intelligent, so you don't have that observer effect, so you see truth as it is. And that's why, we find a lot of deep level solutions to many individuals' problems, whether, your issue is, health issues, physical issues, emotional issues, money issues that we're going to be talking about here, rich versus poor mindset, on why money doesn't work for a lot of individuals. And, we're finding that out as we go into this new year, this new transition. It's all about value. So we're going to be talking about that. And then right after, I'll be scanning you all, those individuals who raise their hand. And if you're new, just say, hey, you're new, please scan me. And if you're not new, don't go, hey, I'm new, please scan me, because then it's just not right. Right. So anyway, so I'll be doing that to let you know exactly what's going on with your life and how to resolve it. So let's take a deep breath in, and we'll just give you an experiential experience. Whether you're new, again, welcome. If you're new, obviously this is a very different show because, it's experiential. What does that mean? Well, it's got frequencies behind it. So much more than, say, the visual or the five senses. The frequencies, it's very deep frequencies that can transform your life just by listening to this content. That's how crazy. I know it sounds crazy, and I know there's intellectual people go, well, shit, you can't do that. Well, it happens all the time, and there's a lot of Russian scientists actually talking about, how, say, you can influence through frequencies. The government uses frequencies all the time to transform you, right? Shift you, your words, tonalities, and so on. Those are frequencies. These are just much higher frequencies. So that's all. So, all right. So a lot of the good things happening in the world, just as an update on the world, and then we'll get into rich versus poor. Again, many of you XIers are experiences like, hey, Moss, what's going on? What the hell? Why is there tension? It's kind of like, when elephants or animals, not just elephants, but elephants in this case, they move to higher ground. Or if you've seen animals move to higher ground, like even days before like a hurricane hits, or some environmental disaster is about to happen, right? They move to higher ground. How do they know that? What's that intelligence that they connect to? They see it in Yellowstone all the time, by the way. And it's an amazing, you might want to take a look at, some of the studies they're doing in Yellowstone as, animals migrate from place to place. And then they realize that there's certain fissures or whatever is happening geologically. But the animals know that, say, like weeks before it actually happens. So it's pretty crazy stuff. So what is that intelligence, right? And I could give you thousands and thousands of examples that happen every day, literally, on, say, that natural intelligence that animals can tap into, high-level individuals becoming exponentially intelligent can tap into, which supersedes again, the religious aspects, the religious views, spiritual views, and then also the scientific views. as well, because again, as science goes about, nobody really believes or trusts in science anymore, because most, and this is from a credited source. About 80% of the scientific studies and the discoveries are backed, and they have some kind of ulterior motive underneath. So they're not even accurate, some of the stuff that you're listening into. So where do you go, right? You come here and become exponentially intelligent, and then from there, well, you can tap into that natural intelligence that's already there for you, so you can make the right decisions, right? All right. So what's happening? Rich versus poor mindset is really becoming prevalent now. So why is that? So one, and we'll go a little deeper, and then we'll come back to, again, this topics where I'll tell you why money may make you look rich but feel poor on the inside, and then why you may be wealthy but not happy and still have all the problems that you had before you became wealthy, because that's what most people think, right? It's like, shit, if I get X, if I make a lot of money, or if I go, and even on the spiritual side, guys, so even on the spirit, if I become really spiritual and I do all this stuff out there, I'm going to go travel east, go to India, I'll come back, and then I'll be happy. And then both ways, again, why do both ways fail, right? Not being wealthy, being wealthy, being spiritual, being wealthy, all that shit. Why does it fail? Because again, you're not, say, exponentially intelligent. You have to become aware of, say, what you're really about, and this is what this reality is happening. If you take a look at, say, some of the economic forums out there, some of the Financial Times news out there, and so on like that, what they don't say really say out in the general news, but if you dig deeper, there's a lot of countries that are in deep shit. And that's because of the US dollar, by the way. And I'm not going to get into all that discussion, but it affects you. It totally affects you. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to put your money? How are you going to pay for stuff? In Canada, for example, and this is where the breakdown happens, massive internet shortage, outage out there. So, without internet nowadays, it's worse than not having electricity, right? There's no connection. You can't pay for anything because everything's on a credit card. Who carries cash anymore, right? So what does that all mean? What does that all mean to you? Well, what does that mean to a rich versus poor mindset? Well, it's showing the value mechanism on everything, literally, right? In the past, it was just a mindset. It was just like, this person's rich, that person's poor. Now this is this species. So before is like maybe a person, maybe, say, a family. One family's rich, one family's poor. Maybe in the past, this company was rich, this company was poor. Then it came into countries. Back in the day, not too long ago, this country's rich, this country's poor, and so on like that. Again, value systems. And now basically what's happening, and this is so important to understand on what it really is about. Again, it's value systems. This is basically coming to a higher order of, say, value. Okay, the main definition of what value is about. This species is poor, this species is rich. That's what it's coming to. So it's elevated from individual becoming wealthy or poor, and denoting, hey, I'm wealthier than you, or I'm richer than you, or I'm spiritually wealthier than you, or I have more money than you, more stuff gathered than you. And again, neither way is wrong and neither way is right. The bottom line is, how do you feel on the inside? That's really the key. So over time, we've proven to ourselves that the value, or what we judge ourselves on, or what we judge others on, is not really the value system that we need to judge each other on. And we've known that before. We've known that in the past, but it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. And I'll explain again what filthy rich is about, right? Or stinking rich, if you've ever heard that. How many of you have heard that expression, stinking rich? Right? Or how many of you heard that that concept? Not the concept, but how many? Now, tell the truth. How many you walk up to a poor person and there's something about you that scares you about that poor person? right? And you might go, well, they didn't take a bath for a while, or they might smell, or they're dirty, or whatever. It's like you're out of class, right? And you feel sorry for them, but you feel sorry for them, and you're supposed to be nice to them and all that. But at a deeper level, again, just be fucking honest. Just really at a deeper level, how many of you are scared of those individuals who are homeless? Just be really honest. There's something about you. There's something about it, and you might go, "Oh, because I feel sorry for it." No, you don't. You might, but again, it's a deeper understanding. You're starting to see the value mechanism, okay, and it scares you. It literally just scares the shit out of anybody that's out there, and then what do? It's like, well, you give them the money and then you walk away really fast, right? And all that, like they're literally diseased. Well, they actually are diseased. Okay. And I'm not talking about poor people, just poor people, right? It's like, here you go, right? Or you just throw your money into their hat, like, there you go. You don't want to even get close to them. Again, just be honest. Okay. I'm being honest with that, right? Some people force themselves to go past that, but again, they feel, say, discomfort, so they force themselves to go help others, or those individuals who are less fortunate. On the flip side, how many of you have walked away from highly successful individuals who stink the same way? Literally, who just like, God, I don't know what it is. They've got the most beautiful home or the most beautiful wife. No offense, but a lot of men are, say, stinking rich. Women too, by the way. But in this example, I'm thinking of a specific individual. So it's a man, and it's like you get close to them, and it's just like, ooh, what, they're just so, ooh, they're just like, yuck. What's the difference? Do you see the difference? You run away. There's something grotesque about, say, that individual that's really, really poor. And then there's something grotesque about that individual that's really, really wealthy. And then on the third side, might as well just just get it all out there. What about those individuals who walk around and they're like spiritually high on themselves? They've done something. And now they think they're a spiritual leader, and many people should follow them. And then you get this feeling, you get this eerie feeling, right? Deep inside, it's like, oh my God, they're just gross on the inside, right? So all three dimensions, the wealthy, again, physical possession, right? Value system, right? Gross. The poor, again, no physical abundance. Again, filthy, or gross. And then the spiritual people, again. So what's lacking in all three that nothing physical here can fulfill? Because we've gone the spiritual route, again, the wealth route, and then the non-wealth route, obviously. But what is it? Some gurus are icky, absolutely. But what is it about those three scenarios that's missing? That's the key. What is it? That's what I'm talking about, rich versus poor mindset. In this consciousness that's coming up, okay, this reality. And it's not about, the World Economic Forum or the, what is it, the nation, the conglomerate of nations, the United Nations and all that stuff. They're setting the standards and stuff. It's not about that anymore. They never set up those standards. You never set up the standards for your life. Nothing ever. No one here physically ever set up those standards for life. Although we thought we did, because that's where we got fucked up and go, oh, making money. Well, that's going to be, I'm going to be up there. Back in the day, Egyptians, they would pay their priests to make sure that they have enough credit so they can go to heaven and all that. See, so again, they set up those standards. But again, the real standard, whatever you abide by, doesn't fucking matter. That's what's happening in today's world. it doesn't really matter what your standards are. Everybody's climbing or claiming up to a higher level of standard or value. If you've ever wondered why, say, money has lost its value, before, you made a couple 100,000, you were pretty well off. Right? If you make a couple million, you're pretty well off. If you make a couple 100 million, you're pretty well off. Now, if you make $1 billion, you're pretty well off. Now there's people who are trillionaires or getting into that, right? And so that, again, the value system has depreciated, right? Your dollar, for example, what it bought back in the, what was it, 40s or 50s? Again, don't quote me specifically, but compared to like, in the 40s compared to what it is, it's like pennies on the dollar what you're paying. So same with popes. Absolutely. So again, what is missing, right? We're all coming to a higher level of standard of understanding what real value is. And that's what XI is about, becoming exponentially intelligent, coming into, again, a real value system. How valuable are you on the inside? That's what's missing on those types of individuals that we talked about, the three types that we talked about, right? Those types of individuals have no value within their system, within their mechanism, within their persona, within their spirit, within their essence, within their competence, however you want to decide on it. It's either whether it's religious or spiritual, because I have all sorts of audiences, from highly scientific individuals who listen to the show compared to, highly religious or spiritual people. So you got to cover both sides, right? So whether you think it's, again, self-worth at a very deep level, or, your spirit's missing, there's something about the value mechanism. Okay, however you define it, it's the same thing. Their frequency. There is a lack of frequency within them that you detest. And you will see this happen. And I predicted this a while back, years ago, by the way. You will start to detest people, no matter how good they look or whatever, according to their natural beauty or their natural essence or your natural, say, presence on the inside. Basically, the frequency that they resonate at. Are you resonating at a low level frequency? If you are, it's not that you'll be called out. People will start to see what really matters, right? So people will start to, say, get that feel, because the world is awakening. Consciousness is awakening. We're not in the dark ages anymore, despite the technology. So let's take a deep breath in again. We'll go deeper on that. So this is where, so I've kind of covered why, money may make you look rich, but feel poor on the inside. So the value system is literally shifting around. And why is money, held so high, right? Money is put on a pedestal. What does that mean? People kill for money, right? People die for money. People will sacrifice for money, more so than anything else, even love. Right? They bypass love for money. Why is that? Right? You might go, well, it's because, you can buy stuff and stuff. It's not about that. It's not about that. The value system is turned around. Okay. The value system in its real form. Okay. But in its real form, the value system is, the more ascended you are, the more awakened you are, the more, say, in this reality, the more money you would have. Now, that's totally the opposite of what everybody else thinks, okay? And that's why exponential intelligence makes so much sense, okay? So again, value systems at its, say, first level definition of, say, wealth or abundance, and I'll explain it both ways for you. Wealth and abundance is, again, if you, and I'll make it really simple. Just take a deep breath in, okay? This one, big fat tuna. Money is the root of all evil. Is it? Money is a system value. Is it? No, it's defined wrong. That's all it is. It's defined wrong. Money is actually in a reality that makes sense, and it's not convoluted or fucked up. Money would be, say, the essence of how awakened you are at a frequency level or at a spirit level. Okay, and some of you go, whoa, that's going way out there, because that's against every religious belief and all that. Well, look at, I gave you enough proof on again, the three areas that most people talk about: money and not money. So what's money? Again, over here, money is just a frequency. Absolutely. So in its real sense, okay, whether you're scientists or spiritual people, take a breath in and just notice if you, and I'll bring in, say, your natural effervescence. So take a breath in, just notice your heart, notice your chest area. Okay. Notice, I'll bring out, say, the limitless potential that you are. Or some of you who are spiritual would go, I'll help you experience your spirit. Breath in again. Notice your chest. That's all you got to do. Even if you don't believe me, just notice your chest. Breath in again. Notice that expansiveness. So I'll keep working on you in this to get you into the higher reference of, say, what abundance is, what's missing from a rich versus poor mindset. And again, it's got nothing to do with money or anything equated to um, abundance, which is accumulation of, say, goods or knowledge in this reality. Breath in again. So when I had my first near-death experience, I was quite awakened. And that's the difference between my near-death experience and most others, is I was hyper conscious of what was going on around me without my body as a reference point. Okay. So take a breath in and just notice the back of your shoulders and notice how you feel. How are you feeling, by the way? Comment in. Do you feel an expansiveness? Do you feel limitless? For a good number of you, right? Do you notice your problems? If you don't, go, what is he talking about? Notice your problems right now. Any problem that you have. Do you feel like it's more attainable or more solvable in this state? And it's not a state, psychological state here. It's a frequency state. Straight out. It is just frequency state. So again, so comment in on how you feel. Breath in again. So when I had that first near-death experience, again, hyper awakened to my limitless potential, hyper aware of my surroundings, again, without reference to my body. Okay. Some of you who do the 18-day meditations or other programs that we do, like we did this event in London and Ibiza, fantastic. It's like, whoa, I really understand my true value, my true worth of who I am. I really understand the concepts of what it's all about, right? We brought that out. I really understand, say, that being a real woman, being a real man, that was the Ibiza event. It's like, whoa, that's very, very different. So now you're understanding being, say, human. And again, look, the burden's melting away, awake and expansive. Yes, feel more solvable, electric. I could get amazing. So what is that? Okay. So this is the this is the rich versus poor mindset. Okay. If you stayed in this frequency, again, if you stayed in this frequency, guys, you will, in all levels of yourself, you will fulfill that spiritual, say, need. You will get the nutrition that you're lacking in all those forms. Okay. I'll talk about that in just a second. But again, at all levels, if you stayed in this state in a physical form, okay, you would have the abundance, the money, which if it's like, I don't know, 10,000 a month, if that's good enough for you, 1 million a month or 10 million a month or 1 billion a month, whatever is good for you, right? For you to help others as well. Again, doing philanthropy, right, will come into you because your level of grandness shows through. Okay, so let me just finish that story of me on my first near death. So when I had my jaws crushed on the first near death, again, hyper awakened, I pulled out of my body. I was conscious of myself, and I saw my physical form, limited form. That is and I looked at myself. I'm going, fuck, you know. And again, back then, very vibrant, very vital young man, and I'm going, wow, we are so limited. I didn't say I was limited. It's like, wow, the human race. Literally, this is the way I was talking. It's like, damn, the human race, the human species, so fucking limited compared to who we could be at our level. Again, our value. What I valued myself was only 1%, literally 1% of who I really was. The 99% I was feeling. And this is what many of you are experiencing now, obviously without, without the near-death experience. Again, you don't have to have that near-death experience. So this one's interesting. Linda Van Koostveld. I'm stuck in fear. Actually, no. I actually see you in the other way around now, Linda. You were running out of fear in all your actions. Now you're observing your fear controlling you. Major difference there, Linda, for you. So as you start to observe in a very short time, especially if you do the 18 days coming up, you'll start to go, the 18-day hypermeditations, you'll start to go, shit, why is this fear controlling me? Because you're separating yourself, because that's not your identity. So rich versus poor mindset in this case, again, just remove fear and put in wealth or money or whatever that you want in there, is that you think that you are the problem or the abundance that you have in physical form. And you're not. You're not. Your limitless nature, as I again experienced in full form, in full consciousness, again in hyper awareness, in full form, I started to realize the limitless potential, and I saw and experienced my value. Okay, that is the value mechanism that we're all going towards. Okay, now as you take a deep breath in, now if you were a limitless self, say you took that limitless pill, or you took that I forgot which pill, the blue pill or the red pill, in the Matrix, or in the again the Limitless movie, you took that you took that formula, or if you're spiritual, you understand your spirit, you live in from your spirit. So take a breath in. Would you be limited or would you be poor in any way? Okay. Would you have to experience any of that lack in any way? You wouldn't. Would you represent yourself in any other way other than being noble and grand and abundant or rich in this scenario? You wouldn't, right? So if you're rendering this reality, and it's, again, if you go to the top level definition, right, as Elon Musk would say, the top level or first principle definition of what wealth is, you would be representing your frequency of, say, abundance or limitless. Take a breath in again. So again, definitions get redefined to the top level. Okay. And again, a breath in again, just notice your chest. So what that means is that you would represent yourself in your best form in this reality. Okay. So this removes all that bullshit about, you're meant to be here to suffer. You're meant to be here to sacrifice. You're meant to be here to do all that stuff. You're not. Nothing like that at all. It's just that you don't know who you really are at a deeper level. You have a poor mindset. And then if you have a poor mindset, your physical form will represent itself here as a poor mindset, no matter what you create here physically. If you are, say, out of touch or out of tune with that limitless self compared to your limited version that I saw on my first near death, well, no matter what you do, no matter how much spirituality that you've got going on, you'll feel really yucky other people look at you really yucky, or again, the poor, the beggar on the street, or the beggar or the filthy rich that's in a castle. Either way, again, you'll feel that discrepancy. So in today's reality or today's consciousness, you're seeing the discrepancy of, say, definitions, right? In this scenario, because abundance or money is the bigger definition of everything, everything is controlled by money in this reality. Again, that value system is going away. A new value system is coming in. Your value of who you are. Right? How does this affect you? It's like, well, that's just there. It's a theory. No, it's not. You're going to experience it. You're going to experience it in your pocketbook. Governments or the World Economic Forum, whoever thinks that runs this world, they're not running the world. It's a new value system. Everybody's going to be, again, underneath this new value system. So the new value of wealth, again, is just what I said. The higher frequency that you have, the more valuable you will be, the richer you will be in all aspects of your life. Okay, not just physical possessions, but again, health, wealth, relationships, spiritual connection, because that's what it's about. So again, the real definition of money in this reality is that the higher frequency that you are, or the closer you are to your limited self, whichever way you want to look at it, you're going to represent your real value. That's all it is. If you don't remember anything else, you're representing, or this reality dictates, or this point in history dictates that you have to represent the real value that you are, the real value that you're bringing to this reality. Okay? The consciousness level that you're at, however you define it, again, you're representing the real value mechanism of who you are. Okay, outside of physical possessions or what you're wearing and all that stuff doesn't matter anymore. People are going to look through that. Okay, and this is where, again, how does it affect you? Well, economically, what'll happen is that people are going to migrate or gravitate towards companies that can provide, say, a product that has real value, intrinsic value in it. Right? Have you ever held a product? And I just did a podcast, by the way, XI podcast, Xponential and podcast on the new CEO coming up, the new business paradigm coming up. So you might want to take a look at that. Again, it's XI podcast with Sajady. So take a look at that on what it means to CEOs, the new business paradigm, and so on like that. In the near future, okay, and you're starting to get more and more of that happening, but they're going the wrong way about it, right? This is where, how many of you heard about the customer service, right? The customer service experience, right? Everybody's talking about the customer service experience, and they're going overboard on that. That's not what we're looking for. We've just got it wrong. This new consciousness dictates that, again, your value of who you are as a person dictates on how good that product is going to be. Okay. That's the differentiating factor, how your mindset is. So if that CEO, say, is poor in nature, that company will be poor and it'll be distressed, no matter how much money it'll have. It's happening already, but it's going to show itself because the value of money compared to the real value is going to be equalized. So those companies will literally start to lose profits or start to lose money if they're not congruent with the new definition that's in order, despite no matter what anybody says. That's your natural state of being, by the way. We're becoming more efficient. Those individuals who provide state of a higher frequency, they will naturally elevate to more abundance. Simple as that. Okay. So again, this is why money may make you look rich, but feel poor on the inside, right? Because what happens is that money, because it is a sacred frequency, by the way, okay? Because it's sacred by not just money, but abundance overall. Health is the sacred frequency. I had almost a third near-death experience, right? Almost died in Peru. What happens? The value of my wealth, very sacred to me, even more so than ever before. Why? Because it was taken away, or almost taken away, right? When things get taken away, you get to feel how sacred it is. Old people, despite the billions of dollars that they have, again, start to see the real value of what's really important for them, right? And they start to go, shit, all those billions don't mean anything to me. Again, value mechanisms or value systems are starting to equalize. So pound for pound, dollar for dollar, however you want to say it, frequency wise, okay? The frequency that you're generating will say accumulate the frequency, the physical frequency for you here in all aspects of your life. That's what it's all about. That's what this new paradigm is about. Okay. So economically, the World Economic Forum, the economists, they don't know what the fuck is going on. They really don't know what is going on because they're trying to figure out, or they're trying to solve today's problems from yesterday's experiences. Okay. And all those individuals, great thought leaders, like Ray Dalio, Peter Diamante, and again, great individuals and so on like that. But again, they're thinking of the past. This is a whole new freaking new future, guys. It's never been experienced like this before. And it's coming out. Okay. So you want to be ready. How do you become ready? Well, you become exponentially intelligent. You become wiser. So, so we talked about, and I'll give you things you can do right away, by the way. Um, so, um, so this is where, again, like I said, wealth is a magnifier. That's why the wealthier that you get, the poorer that you become, because you start to see, it starts to magnify, it starts to hit you in the face that you can't hide your value of who you are, right? And then that value, say, displacement, is so far off that people have to commit suicide, right? That's why great entertainers and so on, they get to see the value of who they are, again, very low compared to what they're physically making. And then that disconnect of definitions is a disconnect from life. So you'll start to see that coming up rather quickly, and it is happening already, by the way. All right, so what can you do? Well, a lot of things you can do. The best thing you can do is spatial referencing. Again, we do this on the 18 days coming up. Actually, there's a free 18-day success orientation for you all. If you're new, that's coming up right after this. So link is in the chat for you. You can do that. What you can do, again, the new events coming up as well. And I'll give you some things that you can do right now on your own, with or without me, that'll create that value system. So take a breath in again, and again, I'll keep you in that state. Again, it's not psychology or anything like that. It's you. It's you understanding your value compared to what you thought you were, because most value systems, again, overall, as we conclude this episode, is most value systems are based on, say, again, how much accumulation you have in physical form compared to who you are. It's not about that anymore. That's just a facade. The new value system that's coming up, the rich versus poor mindset, is that how, say, expanded you are, or what level of a frequency are you at, and then you can accumulate wealth. By the way, I teach a lot of CEOs, right? Got a ton of money, but again, there's no value in them. So that's why that's why they come to the door. That's why they come to see me. Again, they're seeing, it's like, boss, you know what? I'm starting to see that all that stuff that I sacrificed for is not cutting it for me. What am I searching for? Well, you're searching for a higher level frequency of who you are. You're not going to get that any other way. You're not through spiritual experiences or anything like that, because again, it's not about what you're doing physically. It's about what you're resonating at, where you're resonating at. This is where space and time come in. It's about where and the frequency that you're resonating in space and time, and that's where exponential intelligence is all about. So what you can do to become again, rich mentally, physically, and spiritually, is to understand where you're placing yourself in this reality. are you in a consciousness that is of a poor mindset? Because like I said, no matter what you do, you're going to be poor, right? So you have to, again, move to a higher level of frequency. How do you do that, right? It's called spatial referencing, right? Best way to spatial references is, again, through the 18 days coming up for you. Oh, 18 days starts actually tomorrow. So again, it's the fastest way to transform your life in the 18 days. And then also driving to success consciousness starts on July 17th. So if you can physically make it to Minnesota, Brainerd International, we're gonna mix the two together. Self-actualization, because that's what the new paradigm of value is, or rich versus poor mindset. Self-actualization and then physical wealth. We're going to integrate that, and it's all new content, by the way, right? It's brand new content on what's going on there. It's totally different. It's going to be a whole different, say, level of getting you into the real definition of being, say, being rich. Rich, not mindset. This bypasses the mindset. This is about being rich at a higher level of frequency. So again, take a look at the driving to success consciousness coming up. If the team can post that, I think we still have some rooms available for you as well. So take a look at that or give us a call. If they've been sold out, we still have some rooms available for you if you want to fly in or drive into Brainerd. It's a beautiful vacation spot, by the way. You can do this online as well. Again, and in no other platform other than XI where you get it here, there's no other platform where you can mix self-actualization, okay, the true definition, and say physical abundance, combine it together. There's no other platform. Every other platform, I don't care who it is, Tony Robbins, Joe Dispenza, and all those great individuals, again, it's a separation of identity. Okay, that's why, again, wealth doesn't say matter or magnify the poor mindset that you have. So, all right. So what can you do? Use spatial reference. You start to realize, again, spatial referencing goes beyond. It's the mechanics on how you render yourself. You have to understand what frequency that you are rendering yourself to, and we'll jump into the scans. You'll have to reference, you'll have to understand or figure out what frequency that you're rendering yourself in, okay, first. Because if you don't know that, it's like, typing into Google, you want to go somewhere, but you don't know your starting point. So spatial referencing, again, is observing your reality. So observing, say, the furniture compared to where you are. I know it sounds really fucking crazy, but people actually have gotten off their antidepressants just doing spatial referencing. That's how powerful it is. I just met with a man. He flew over from Sweden just to have, a couple-hour meeting with me. Okay, like a 3-hour meeting with me. That's how important and he goes, Ma, spatial referencing is one of the most important, say, discoveries. And he put it this way, discoveries of today. And this comes from a high level individual. It's like, wow, that's how important it is. Many of you, who are, say, depressed or suicidal, did spatial referencing and go, wow, this is the most important discovery that I've had. So that's how important it is. At first level, again, for you beginners, and we get into advanced spatial referencing. By the way, that's the new deal for the driving, is advanced spatial referencing. We'll show you advanced techniques of spatial referencing so you can accumulate wealth, physical wealth, through self-actualization. Okay, so that's what the driving event is really about. But basic spatial referencing, just to get you started, is, again, understanding, say, physical frequencies around you. So again, notice, say, like there's a chest of drawers over to my right here compared to a body part. I know it sounds kind of weird, but just do that. Or notice, that there's a light in front of me compared to my forehead. And then there's another light on my left side compared to my shoulder, my left shoulder. Again, start to do that. Start to become aware of how you render yourself. Those who have spatial reference, again, comment in on how, say, transformative it is compared to anything else in the world out there. Okay. And this is just the beginning of spatial referencing. In the driving event, again, whether it's online, it's a lot better if you came physically, because we're going to show you how to drive to get you out of, say, the reference point that you're in. That's why it's so important. But even online, we'll do advanced spatial referencing to literally put you into a multiverse or a dimension that you naturally have to render, say, abundance. Simple as that, right? You are already, say, completely abundant. You naturally are. We've proven that to you, because knowing your limitless potential, the power within, and then also, being a spirit level, you're already there. You're just representing yourself in a distorted dimension or a distorted reality. So we're going to be talking about that coming up in the Driving to Success Consciousness coming up. We'll talk a little bit about it on the 18-day success orientation right after this, by the way. All right. So very grounding spatial referencing, right? Spatial referencing gave me sanity. Again, my son has been helped with referencing with his forgetfulness, anxiety. It's the problems with kids nowadays, and next month is all about kids, the youth, helping the youth. That's something the Mosque on Sunday, so that's coming out for you. But for kids, guys, spatial referencing is the most important thing you could teach your kids how to do. It'll help them become strong, stable, say, individuals. So, all right. So spatial referencing, it'll help you understand and help you go, shit, now I know why I'm living in a poor mindset. Now I know why my success is, I have physical success and I'm not happy. Now I know why I don't have physical success and I'm happy or not happy, whatever it might be, right? Either way, you'll understand that and you go, shit, over there in that dimension, it's a better, say, simulation of me. How do I get there? Well, through exponential intelligence. All right. So let's do the scans. Must please scan me. So just to read this note, guys, just because of the world we live in. So this is Sajady with Exponential Intelligence, Sunday, July 10th. 2022. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't diagnose or heal. I can scan your frequency signature and tell you what I see. But please consult your doctor. So if I tell you something physical, again, I'm not a doctor in any way. I'm just telling you what I see. If you ask to be scanned today, you're agreeing that we may use your session on any public media to help inspire others. So again, remember, if you don't want to be scanned here physically, in public, there's private sessions that you can do. Okay. So again, simple way, if you don't want to be scanned, don't ask to be scanned. All contents are protected by copyright. You may not use our content in any way, shape, or form for any purpose without written permission. And please, guys, just ask to be scanned once. Okay. Alrighty. So, and we all have these abilities, by the way. Can I have a scan? How well connected am I? This is Catherine D. But by the way, I don't need to know anything about you. You can even use a fake name. I don't care. I can read your frequency signature for you. That's how accurate I am. So Catherine D, for you, you're doing really well. You're starting to become really aware of what's going on with you. You're starting to become aware of say, how you're representing yourself in reality, or how you, say, exchange your relationships, basically. The relationship with space, especially men. There's a male or physical identity that you're always referencing yourself with. So no matter, and this is like literally stops you from becoming, say, the woman that you feel on the inside. It's like, I know it's out there, but why can't I experience that? Because you're referencing yourself from a man's point of view, right? This might happen from what I'm seeing. And again, you're leaving that behind. where you were always trying to say please your dad, or your dad wasn't around, or again you took the blame for, say, the relationship between the mother and your mom and your father, so on like that. So that kind, again, referencing yourself. So when women do that, you'll never feel, no matter how sexy you are, no matter how beautiful you are, the perfect body shape, all that stuff, you'll feel like a man. Okay, because you're referencing yourself through the eyes of a man. And again, when you're referencing, especially if you're beauty, if you're really beautiful, and you're referencing, you basically will feel like a piece of meat, or again, property. By the way, anyway, so for you, you're leaving all that behind. And Catherine, that's not all you. I'm just overall, because when I work on just one individual, I'll be working on others, especially if you have of the same frequency. By the way, it's not just that I just tell you what's going on with you. Again, how much is that worth for you? If I just, somebody tells you, it's like, this is what's going on with you. So not only that, it allows you to, say, again, change through the frequencies that I generate for you to help you shift. So many individuals have seen their life change just on these scans. As a note, if I scan you, please comment in on, say, how accurate that was. Okay, not for my benefit, but just for you to go, wow, what, where, or what did he tap into? This one, hi Moss, can you scan me and tell me how I'm doing after the London event? This is Harminder. So you are actually, you're starting to become aware. You might feel a little, say, distorted or disoriented. You go, well, shit, I went to a London event, now I feel disoriented. Well, the reason why is like you're breaking apart the crustiness that's always been around your life. So you're starting to, say, awaken or push away from, say, your physical platform or your physical identity. So you're starting to come into your limitless possibility. So there's going to be a lot more possibilities coming up for you in the near future, which is really exciting for you. Okay, so that's where you're at. In the meantime, though, to access those possibilities, you would again have to, say, disconnect from, say, the physical distortions that you think you are. So that's why I said you're a little broken apart. Many of you who did the London and especially the Ibiza event, and even after the driving event, many of you will feel like distorted, or might go, fuck, what the hell happened to me, right? It's because you've elevated yourself so fast, you still think you're that old person. So just give it a little time and you start to, again, create that new momentum and new motivation for yourself. This one is really cool from, is it Becky Wilson? From spatial referencing, I can see myself from every perspective. It's expanded my perception. This one, is it Nika? Hi, Moss. Please scan. Can you please scan me? I have some back pain. Thank you. Not only have back pain, again, I'm not a doctor, but the back pain goes up your shoulders, and then it almost gives you, it almost feels like you don't get enough oxygen or stimulation in your head. And it's almost like you feel like you're passing out sometimes as well. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I'm seeing. So what's happening for you, again, I'm not a doctor in any way, but Nika, you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. There's like 3 or 4 generations back. Someone was really, say, deformed, or there was a young child that was really deformed and never made it. So either way, or as an older individual that started to, their bone structure started to, say, morph or deform, and started to compress and really curve. So again, that seems to run in your family. I could be way off. Again, I'm not a doctor, but so that, I'm not saying you're going to get deformed or anything like that, but what's happening for you is that you'll attract situations, you might get into accidents, whatever, that might, say, perpetuate or create that in reality. So what's happening for you is literally you feel like you're shrinking. Okay, your nerves might even like feel like they're shrinking, and then you might have, from what I'm seeing, nerve pain and so on like that. So again, outside of, say, eating the right foods and so on like that, again, you might see the nutritionist or, total human reset, where we get you into the right food plan and all that coming up again this year, that might be really beneficial for you. But I would see a nutritionist on the physical side. But on the frequency side, I would do a personal session with me so I can help you say disc, and I'll start that process for you now. But so you can help, so I can help you disconnect from, say, the propensity of you carrying, say, that genetic frequency that you inherited, if that makes sense to you. So you don't have to, again, your family starts to say shrink and so on like that. So that's what's happening for you. Okay. Yep. So take a breath in again. I would again start to keep stretching. I would start, stretching a lot would really help you to keep your, and then maybe keto or something like that to say, to say nourish. But I would really suggest, again, a private session just to completely disconnect that from you. And then the 18 days just to perpetuate your new, say, platform. Okay. So again, please comment back on whoever that was. I lost my grounding. I agree, spatial referencing is incredibly grounding. I think exponential intelligence, I think it's the most amazing scientific breakthrough because it's about consciousness, not new ideas or new concepts. You can have the best idea if you're not in the right consciousness. It won't work. Besides, much worse, it becomes very destructive for the consciousness that we exist in. Feeling really good. RJ, spatial referencing helped me to stop having conversations in my head with people who weren't physically present. Yep, absolutely. This one is at PI Pics of Dreams. Yeah, PIC Pics of Dreams. Possibly scan my progress. Yeah, so what you're actually doing where you are is, and again, this is progress for you, okay? But sometimes, to understand where you are, and this is what's different than anything else that you do, okay? And this is where detox is there for you. So exponential intelligence is a high performance tool, and you'll find that out if you go to that success orientation afterwards. This is a tool of letting all the shit that you've had, and I would even say to the to your core, your genetic makeup, and we're trying to prove that more and more. We're getting more evidence of that, by the way. But anyway, so what most modalities do out there is that you've got all this garbage that you're running your platform on, your identity, right? And then you go, well, I'll add more of this good stuff on top of that shit, and then my life will be good. It doesn't work that way. Exponential intelligence goes, no, you're completely perfect already. Let's get rid of the garbage that you think you are. And that's why it's so fast and so effective. But where you are, and this is the key, is that you're starting to see what's always been blocking your life. And sometimes when we start to see what's blocking our life, we get, we kind of get kind of disheartened, so to speak. It's like, oh my God, that's a mountain. How am I ever gonna? And that's where you are. What is it? Pick of dreams, right? On the flip side of that, if you peek around all that stuff that's blocking you, because again, in life, things just always block you. Now you're just starting to see what's really blocking you. Okay. And then the cool thing about it, and that's what I'm helping you with right now. So take a deep breath in, whoever you are, picks of dreams, is that you're going, well, shit, I don't have to go through this stuff. I don't have to break down this stuff. I can kind of go around it. I can just walk around it. I don't even have to deal with this shit. So that's where you are. It's like, God, I can just render myself over here and just walk around the problem. So that's what you're doing. So you'll start to see a lot of your problems that you think are so huge compared to who you are. And that's displacement, by the way. Most people can't solve their problems properly because, again, it's displacement. They think they're small compared to their problems. Okay. And XI, basically, you expand. So now what's going to happen is that you'll start to see that those things that are huge monoliths for you as you expand into your higher version or higher frequency or the rich mindset, you expand to a higher version, your problems like again minimize, and literally you could just walk over some of those problems that stunted you, and then somebody else in your family as well. So this one is D Pink. Please scan me, boss. Thank you. Sure. Is it DPINC? Um, um, it's almost like you're running somebody else's patterns. It's like there's two of you, for example. Yeah, there's two of you. It's like, if you want to call it two spirits or two frequencies, two modules, two computer systems running one, say, screen, one monitor. So imagine two computer systems on one screen, and both computer systems are again displaying whatever on. So sometimes it gets confusing for you. So, and then you might think you might have brain issues or whatever, or that kind of deal. So but what's happening for you again is you're cleaning that up from becoming exponential intelligence. You're separating that identity that you might have created when you were really young, from what I'm seeing. Something about you having, it's almost like you have nice abilities when you were younger that kind of disoriented you or distorted you when you were younger, and you created, say, two realities. So you're basically you're in between two realities. So that's why there's like almost two of you. Or so what you would experience right now is like you would see both sides of the coin, literally, right? Because again, you're running both patterns, which seems like it's a benefit, but in reality, you can't see both sides of the coin at the same time, or it messes you up. So what I'm helping you is basically separate those identities, and then what you can do is expand into, say, the other side of the coin, right? And then you get to reference the differences. Right now, you see both sides of the coin at the same time. There's no reference point, and then it messes you up. So again, there's basically, in a nutshell, there's two of you. I was helping you separate that. That's where you are. And then you'll stay stable. This is where sometimes, again, you don't know who you are. You have trouble making decisions. These are the physical, say, symptoms of what that would mean. Um, um, yeah. Uh, Sometimes, again, this identity doesn't match up with this identity. So there's an issue there. There might even be, say, sexual identity issues there as well, right? Like sometimes it's like, wow, do I like, masculine, or am I a feminine frequency? Those kind of patterns as well. So this is Gregoria. Hello, Moss. Welcome. A scan, ready to move forward. You're actually ready to move forward. I don't know if it seems like you're moving out, or you will be moving in about, say, 2 months, 2.5 months. Seems like you'll be moving, physically moving, and you physically move because that's a representation again. So basically, you elevated yourself to a different frequency that your reality doesn't, say, match the new frequency that you're at. So you would physically have to move. Okay? Just like Einstein says, right? Whatever that you want, right? You resonate at that frequency, whatever that it is, a Porsche, health, whatever, you resonate at that frequency. There's no way that you won't, say, attract or bring in that frequency. So again, so where you are now is literally, it's like this arena around me does not represent my real self. Okay. I'm not in a poor mindset anymore. I have to move, physically move, so I can be in a more proper mindset that's more conducive for me. Um, this one is Luke Sutton. Been working with you for years, Moss. Can you scan me? I noticed my heart rate is higher when watching you or listening to your podcast. Is that good? Do I have richer, poor mindset? So, Luke, what's happening for you is if you're at a position, or at your age, you're starting to, say, consider. You're starting to consider. how you age. So there's somebody in your family that might have had heart issues or circulation issues. Again, I'm not a doctor, but what you're doing is, or when you're with me, basically, it's like we're working on that, right? That's why your heart raises. Um, so what that means is that you're resolving the propensity of you having, say, cardiovascular or circulation issues as you age. Right? You're disconnecting from that. Again, start to become aware of that, and then start to take care of your heart or circulation and do all that stuff. By the way, part of the total human reset, or something on the side, I haven't figured it out yet, is about heart health and so on like that, especially after that third near death. Really getting into, say, amazing concepts on creating really great heart health, not just for me but for other people. This is B1. My 4-year-old granddaughter loves spatial referencing. Yep, spatial referencing, guys, for kids. It's the most amazing. If your kids or granddaughter or grandkids, they're messed up, they're disappointed in life, so to speak. Sometimes they're suicidal even at a young age. It's got nothing to do with what they're lost in space and time. They're lost in their identity. You can look at it in their eyes. You look into their eyes and they just feel like lost souls. Okay, because they don't know how to render themselves for some reason or not. Again, for those individuals, for those kids, spatial reference them. Okay. Again, all next month is about youth. Spatial reference them, and you'll see the vibrancy of life come back into their life. Okay. This one's really good. Spatial referencing has allowed me to transmute what's not mine in an instant. Yes, you can teach your granddaughter. Please scan me. This is it Bessa? Please scan me. So Bessa, so yeah, for you, Bessa, we'll take 2 more scans. For you, Bessa, is that I don't know if you took care of your mom or a grandmother feel, or your mom feels like a grandmother. So that pattern. So you always feel, say, older than what you really are. And when you're younger, it's kind of nice, because you get the wisdom of your old age, wisdom of age, and so on like that. But again, it ages you faster. And then also on top of that, right now, is that as you age, as you get older, you're aging faster. And then some of the concepts, you basically do better with an older generation than you do your current age. So again, whatever problems that might happen. So again, basically you're seeing the filter through a grandmother or your mother. And then also on top of that, you'll start to, say, represent, or say something happened to, I don't know if it's you or your mom, but say something happened to your mom at, say, 44, from what I'm saying, or your grandmother. Either way, because your grandmother basically melted into your mom is melting into you. Do you see that pattern? And your great great grandmother probably melted into your grandmother, and so look how far back. So again, your life is not your life. Basically, that's what you're experiencing right now. Okay. So you're starting to see, it's like, shit, this is not mine. I don't even like that. So as you awaken, which is really cool, as you awaken, you start to differentiate what you really are compared to what your, say, mom is really about, or grandma. So again, whatever happens, say, with your mom at 44, chances are, with your genetic patterns, you will render, or you will experience something very similar around that age. That's how, say, cookie cutter approach your life is, by the way. This one is Scott Ross. Please scan me. Would love to know where I am at before starting the 18 days. As Scott, so it's going to be a great opportunity for you. You've freed yourself of a lot of baggage, right? You're basically, what you've done, Scott. So, and we'll just start you out too. Take a breath in, Scott. And these are what the optimization, hypermeditations are about before the 18 days. Personal optimization. So for you, Scott, basically it's like, oh, I know what's going on. I know what's holding me back, right? So you're so ready to go, okay, I need to change this. So what you've done is literally took out all the garbage in your life and put it into a big pile. And like in the 18 days, what you're doing is like, shit, I'm going to leave all that behind. Moss is going to take it away from me. For me, I'll help you take it away. I don't do that, myself, but I'll help you take that, all that garbage, and then you start like a whole new trajectory on your life. So that's what you're waiting for. Literally, it's a whole new life in a very short time. So congratulations, Scott. Um, this one, Larry Hines. Can you scan my friend Sharon or Shireen? She is new to XI. Sure. So for you, for Sharon, she's always she's always in her head. She's always like, she's a self-doubter. So no matter how, so the problems with, say, self-doubters is that, no matter how much success you have, the more success you have, the more you'll doubt yourself. So that's the equation that Sharon is running. So imagine, you know if you're, say, broken down and stuff, you'll be more competent, you'll feel more competent. But again, if you're that doubter frequency the way she is, basically the more you're at a level 10, say, success frequency, your doubting of you becomes to a level 10. There comes to a point, though, that, say, you become a level, say, 15 frequency, as far as being a rich mindset, right? You're not at 15 doubt anymore frequency. You're at like a 30 or 40. It magnifies the higher you go. Hence, so what she's done in her life, she's always cycled. She gets to a point where she's almost ready to break free or fall in love, or be stable. But if she stayed there, she'd get more, say, messed up than being at the bottom. Again, because it's about frequencies, got nothing to do with, say, success at this physical level. So what she does is she'll cycle back down. So again, it's this cycle that she keeps repeating over, and that's the reason why. The more success she has, the more doubt she has against herself. So it gets kind of catch 22, right? This one, Gigi Moss, my mother was divorced several times. I've been divorced once. I don't want to go down the same path. Yep, exactly. So again, for Gigi and many of you guys, notice the patterns. It's not just your, facial features or your eye color and all that stuff that you inherit. You inherit divorce patterns. You inherit even abortion patterns, all those things, and plenty more that you inherit. Most of your life, again, over 95% of what you are, take a breath in, Gigi, literally is other people's patterns. It's called evolution, but humans don't evolve. So again, what you're doing is like, shit, I'm seeing. So what you're going to do, what you're going to see, Gigi, after this is that what you're going to see after this is that you're gonna start to see, it's like the differences. It's like, gosh, my mom did this. Your hands even look like not your mom's, but somebody else. So you're going to start to see what's really you, Gigi, and what's not. Again, your hands look like somebody else in your family. They're almost identical. So if you have, say, identical body parts, it's like, oh my goodness, you inherited, Aunt Bessie had the most beautiful blue eyes. You've got the most beautiful blue eyes. That kind of an example. Most likely, those blue eyes, the pain, the trauma, whatever that Aunt Bessie went through, you will, say, again, gravitate towards that as well. So again, all right, in the future, what we're going to do, and again, please comment in, and by the way, please subscribe and like this channel, okay, and tell your friends too as well. But in the future, we're going to dedicate a whole Moss on Sunday just to, say, scanning you one-on-one. Okay, like, so you'll be invited to, for those who can participate, you'll be invited to Zoom, and then we'll connect one-on-one on Zoom so we can converse. Okay, and these are just like 3-minute scans. So, all right, so that's coming up for you on Moss on Sunday as well. All right, guys. Again, notice what you notice. Notice the details of what you're noticing. Again, observe, you're going to start to see after this if you do have a rich mindset versus a poor mindset. So if you start seeing that pattern, again, spatial reference, the rich mindset compared to a poor mindset, what does that mean? It's like poor mindsets do X, rich mindsets do Y, right? I posted I posted a really nice video on Telegram. Okay, it's my private channel on Telegram. So look at XI with Sajady. Subscribe to that Telegram channel, and it's a really nice video on again, rich versus poor mindset for you as well. All right. So again, like this and share it, and then subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, guys. Notice what you notice. Notice the details of what you're noticing. And then if you don't like what you're noticing, do something about it. All right. I'll see you. Hopefully I'll see you right after this. Take care. Bye-bye.